everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're one of my subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing and coming back to watch this video. So today I have a video that I've been meaning to do for quite a while. I'm just going to be going over the Bring Back My Bars for my warm reviews. And I'm really behind on getting this done. And honestly, I debated on whether I really even wanted to post the video and record this video, just because at this point, I know a lot of you have already heard everyone else's opinions and you've probably already purchased the bars, but just in case you're just curious, you want to hear my opinions about the bars and you would like to know which ones were my favorites, I just decided to go ahead and quickly record it today. I'm going to kind of fly through it as fast as I can just because I'm going to try to record a lot of other videos today. I've got the brand new 10 fall winter bars here and I've got the harvest bars here. So I'm going to try to do some other videos, but I wanted to get this one up just for anyone who's curious. So we're going to go through them and I'm going to let you know what my thoughts were. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So these bars are from the Julybringbackmybar. They are still available on the website right now and you still can add them to your Scentsy Club. If for some reason there's something sold out, I will put that on the screen. Okay, so the first bar that I have here is called Ace and it looks like this. The description says, definitely unexpected combination of tangerine and lavender enrobed in dark chocolate and sweet musky amber. So it does have tangerine, it has lavender, it has dark chocolate, and it has sweet musky amber. Now, I have warmed this one twice. So the first time that I warmed it, I did it out here in the open concept, and I did 3 cubes, which is what I normally do for a bar. And honestly, when I smelled this one on cold, it smelled masculine. It smelled like an average type bar. And I really thought, you know, it was going to perform great out here. I loved the fragrance on cold. I really did. Even though I couldn't smell the amber that much in it. I couldn't smell the dark chocolate. I could smell the lavender a little bit. I couldn't really smell the tangerine. Well, when it warms, I don't really smell amber, which is a good thing. So no headache from this one or anything like that. I can smell the lavender a little bit more than I can smell tangerine or dark chocolate. I was hoping that the dark chocolate would come out a little bit more for this one, but it really didn't. But I feel like those notes are in this bar and it's helping the bar blend better. It's keeping it from being overly masculine. You can smell like the muskiness in there, but it is masculine, but it's not aggressively masculine. It's not overly like masculine cologne or anything like that. I loved this bar. The only problem is the performance just was not great for me out here with 3 cubes. And I just didn't understand that because on cold, you know, in the clamshell, it smells like it would be a somewhat strong bar, at least average. And so I decided to try it again. And so the next time I warmed it, I did 2 cubes in the bedroom. And that was so much better. It was so much better. And, you know, I'm probably going to try 1 cube in my really small laundry room. I just haven't had a chance to do that. But I feel like it's going to be great in smaller, you know, spaces like that. It just struggled out here in the open concept. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if the bar needs a little bit of time to cure because I feel like it should perform better than what it did because it did fantastic in the bedroom. And I did 2 cubes in the bedroom, which is kind of what I normally do. Sometimes I can do 1.5 cubes, but usually 2 cubes. And I don't know. I feel like I need to try it again. I don't know if it's because I really like this bar. So I want it to perform better because I am going to add this one to club. I don't think I'm going to keep it in my club. And I do have a party order that's going to be going in. And so I do plan on grabbing some of these Bring Back My Bars and stocking up on a few. So this is going to be one that I'll grab a few of. And I'm also going to add it to my club. And I'm at least going to leave it there for a little while to get a few bars over time. And then I might delete it after that. But I really loved it in the bedroom. I think it's a fantastic bedroom scent. I think it would perform great in the bathroom too, even though I haven't done that there. I think this would be great as, you know, like a scent, like out in a garage, or if you have like a man cave type of area. I really liked this fragrance. So I am happy that I found a new favorite because with this whole collection of Bring Back My Bars, I'm going to be honest and just say that I was a little disappointed by all the floral bars, by all the bars that said they had amber in them. And that's why it's taken me so long to do this video. I just wasn't very excited about warming these bars. I just didn't look forward to warming some of them. So that's why it's taken me a little bit longer just to get this video up, because I just didn't love this collection as much as I wanted to. I feel like the last collection that we had, there was more bars that were kind of my type of bars, but you know, we'll get into that. But for me, this one was a win as far as the fragrance goes. The performance, I feel like it needs a little bit of time to cure. And, you know, I'm going to play around with it a little bit more with this remaining bar that I have. And then I'm going to grab some more and, you know, keep using it because I really did like it. Okay, so the next bar here is called Amber Road. And I have only used 1 cube of this one. The description of this one is really long, but it basically says that it has red cedar and resinous incense, and it has smoky vetiver and crackling birch leaves. When I smelled this one on cold, this is one that I had never really smelled before. I knew that it had been around for a while, and I may have smelled it in the past, but I really didn't remember it. I was really, really, really nervous about this one, honestly. So this one is just really, really woodsy. There's a lot of cedar in it. I could smell like the incense to this one. And then also I could smell a lot of amber with this one. And I think that's just because I'm really sensitive to it, because it is in the name, Amber Road, but it's not really listed in the description. But it gives this bar like a heaviness in a way. So I just wasn't sure what to make of this one. Honestly, I was really, really nervous to warm it. But I did warm this one in the bathroom. So I only used 1 cube. I have a really small bathroom back here, like towards my laundry room, where I can just shut the door and I can put scents like this there where I just want to go into the bathroom and smell the scents, but I don't necessarily want the scent in an open space with me, just in case it's going to give me a headache. So that's what I did for this one. And I have to say, I was pleasantly shocked by this one. I actually liked it more than I thought that I would. I'm actually considering trying it out here in the open concept, but if I do that, I'm probably just going to do 2 cubes instead of the 3. I do think for me, it's a stronger type scent, but I think it's because I don't necessarily like woodsy type fragrances. So if you're used to woodsy type fragrances, this one may not be like a powerhouse for you. It may not be more than average for you, because I do feel like it ended up being a little bit softer than what I expected it to be. Now, it still smells like incense. It still has like a earthiness. It still has the woodsy type notes. It still has cedar. So it's not one that I would reach for a lot. It really isn't. So I'm not going to add it to club. I mean, for sure, this is not a club bar for me, but I can appreciate it for what it is. It is very unique. And I think I might grab maybe 1 more just to have on hand, because a bar like this will last me for a while. This isn't really a scent that I would want out in my open space all the time. I mean, maybe every once in a while, maybe I would want to smell something like this, but I could see myself maybe warming this one downstairs in the basement. We have like a finished basement. So I could see myself warming it down there. I could possibly see myself warming this in the bedroom, possibly. I don't know. I'm going to warm it a few more times. So I do also think with this one that there is a slightly manly note in this one. I also can almost smell like a leather note in this one, like way in the background. And I do like that about it, because I do like masculine type scents. So this one, even though it smells very woodsy, it's also got another type of quality to it that I guess helps me like it, because a lot of woodsy fragrances I don't like, especially if they are like very sharp and very green. And this one is not really sharp. So I think that helps me like it. This one is unique. This one I was pleasantly surprised by, and I really liked it. So I could see why a lot of you, wanted this one to come back. The next bar that I have here is called Apple and Oats. It's like that. And I did use this one out in the open concept here. And the description says, rich, buttery oats, caramelized apple, and warm hints of cinnamon beckon straight from a farmhouse kitchen. And I said this on cold. This one was my favorite on cold, and it's definitely my favorite on warm, which I knew that it would be. I pretty much figured that it would be, because I remember this fragrance from back when it was available before, and I absolutely loved it. And I am happy that it's back. Now, I think that I might have said in the cold video when I was just doing my cold sniffs that I wasn't sure if I was going to add this one to club, just because I have so many other apple cinnamon type fragrances. But I have decided to put this one in club, because I have fallen back in love with this bar. It is so amazing. It's actually a way better performer than what I remember, and it's beautiful. So I did have a couple of these in my stash, and I actually pulled out an older one. So I went ahead and used the 3 cubes from the new bar and tried that out here in the open concept, and it was fantastic. But then I went downstairs and I found some of my old bars, and I actually warmed a whole bar. So I went through an older bar to kind of get it out of my stash, and it was just amazing. I love this fragrance a lot more than what I remember. It has definitely got the cinnamon, but it is a bakery type cinnamon. It's a sugary type cinnamon. So it's not a red hot cinnamon. It's absolutely beautiful. You can smell the oats just a little bit here on cold, but when it warms, that oat type note kind of goes away a little bit, and you're left with this absolutely gorgeous apple and cinnamon with like sugar. Oh, it's so pretty. So I know that we have like the Dutch apple bread bar. You know, it didn't come back, but it was in like a flash sale. That one is really different from this one. So if you haven't smelled this one, but you know what the Dutch apple bread smells like, that one has more of a crisper type apple to me, and it smells more of like an actual like pie filling of like an apple and cinnamon and sugary type mix that has, you know, been heated on the stove. It's not quite as spicy as this one, I don't think, and it's not quite as bakery as this one. This one definitely leans a little bit more of it leans more fall in my opinion. It's not technically fall, but I could see how somebody would think that it's more of a fall type fragrance. It's slightly heavier than that Dutch apple bread one was. It's more spicy, but in a sugary baking cinnamon type of way. And it's more bakery. It is just heavenly. So heavenly. I'm going to be warming this one so much. So like I said, I have a party going in. I'm going to be grabbing some of these bars and stocking up. And I'm going to be adding it to club because I don't want to be without this bar. I might have a lot of apple and cinnamon type fragrances in my club, but I don't care because I love this one. So this one was definitely the winner, hands down. The best bar out of the whole collection for me. Okay, the next bar here is called Cactus Flower Lime. So I did use 2 cubes of this one. So this one, the description says, Zen beckons like a siren song from this crisp, meditative blend of lime mist, water lotus, green tea, and delicate aloe leaf. And I remember saying in the cold video that I thought this one was just really, really clean, and it was very sharp. I was kind of nervous to warm it, but I really liked it. It smelled like a very clean fragrance. And it really is. It is extremely sharp. This is a very sharp fragrance. I normally do not like fragrances like this. I don't, because they give me a headache. But this one was really, really good, actually. It reminds me of a cleaner or something that I have used before, but I can't figure out what it was, but something that had like a lime fragrance to it, but was like some sort of cleaner that I've used in the house. So what I did is I've worn this one twice. I've used 1 cube each time in the bathroom back here, like the small bathroom where I can shut the door. So it only took 1 cube in there for sure. Like honestly, if I just wanted it to be even lighter and not quite as strong, I could have got by with half a cube. This one, it's not so much that it's a very, very strong fragrance. It's just the sharpness. So if you're someone who is sensitive to really sharp, high-pitched, really loud fragrances like that, I'm not sure if you could do this one, but I mean, you could try maybe using a little bit less wax, because if you like clean fragrances, if you like lime, if you like your house to smell like you've just cleaned it, you know, from top to bottom and really, really clean like that, this might be a bar that you want to try. I also think, you know, like if you have some sort of odor in the house, if you've just cooked something, this would be a good bar that you could throw in the warmers and it would help kind of cut through the odor. So, you know, I'm not going to add this one to club, which is what I said. I don't think it's a club worthy bar for me, because I don't think personally that I will use it that much. And I think it would be too sharp for me if I used it out here in the open concept. Now, I think it would be fine out here, honestly. 3 cubes, I think would be great. I think it would perform out here just fine. But for me, I think this is more of a bathroom fragrance. And I just have a lot of bars that I use specifically in the bathroom. Like that's where I normally use them. And so since I have so many other bars to use, I can't justify, you know, really putting this one in my club and taking a spot when I'm not really going to warm it anywhere else. And I just really don't love the fragrance that much. But it is a good fragrance and I love it a lot more than I thought that I would. And it didn't give me a headache. I don't know. I don't know what to do about this one. I really don't. I think I have one in my club at the moment, just for now, just because I couldn't make up my mind. But I think what I would rather do is with the party order that I have going in, I think I would rather just maybe grab 3 or 4 of these and keep them in my stash because that should last me a pretty good while. And just keep them that way because I did like it, but I could see how this would not be a scent for everyone. So definitely fresh and clean, like squeaky clean in my opinion, and very lime and zesty. So if that's your kind of scent, definitely this is a good one. Okay, so the next bar that I have here is called Candy Dandy. Looks like that. So I have used 2 cubes of this one. The description says, almost sweet enough to eat, kids will go gaga for this delicious candy scented concoction of mango, lemon drops, and creamy vanilla. And I said in my cold video, I'm really familiar with this bar. My husband loves this bar. We love this bar. It's just not a very good performer. So this one performed a lot better in my other house that wasn't open concept like this. So I could use it in the living area space. I could use it in the kitchen and it would perform okay. But out here, I didn't even attempt it because I know that it's not going to perform out here. So what I did is I did 2 cubes in the bathroom. So I usually only do 1 cube in the little small bathroom that I've been talking about, but I knew that this was kind of a poor performing bar. So I went ahead and did the 2 cubes and it was absolutely gorgeous. I love this scent so much. I could probably have done, you know, 1.5 cubes and it would have been okay. But this scent is just a really soft fragrance. It is not ever going to be an aggressive fragrance. It's definitely softer, but I like that about it. I do because it's beautiful. It's a pretty candy type fragrance. And I don't really smell the mango in this one. And the lemon is slightly there. Like I really don't smell that either. To me, it just smells like a slightly vanilla, sweet candy type fragrance. And it's just really, really nice. Like my husband loves sweet fragrances like this one, so he loves it. But I can't really justify putting this one in my club either. And that's just because I have to use more of it if I want to use it. And here in this house, I can't use it in as many places. I could use it in the bedroom or the bathroom, and that's pretty much it. So I don't think I'm going to add this one to club. I don't, even though I love this bar. I love the fragrance with it and everything. So I think with my party order going in, I'll grab maybe 1 or 2 more of these and I'll just be okay because I think I might have 1 or 2 in my stash. And you know, just have to be okay with it because even though I love it, I just wish it was a little bit stronger. I do like the fact that it is a softer fragrance, but it also doesn't really have very good strength. And I don't think that it has the greatest longevity either. This is a beautiful fragrance. I think it's perfect for kids. I think this would be a great fragrance for like a nursery or somewhere like that where you don't want anything aggressive. You know, if you're somebody that doesn't like really strong type fragrances, it's a perfect one for you. Or maybe you know someone that doesn't like really strong fragrances and you want to do a gift. I do think it's a nice bar for that because it is very, very soft. Really pretty. I'm going to miss this one if I ever run out of it because sometimes my husband and I, we do crave something like this. And I have mixed this bar before, but it's hard to mix a bar that is this soft because when you mix it, sometimes whatever you mix it with overtakes the whole fragrance. So like if I wanted to mix vanilla bean buttercream with this one, I would probably have to do 2 cubes of this one to 1 cube of vanilla bean buttercream. And even that, you might not smell as much of this scent warming as the other one. So it's not the best mixer just for that reason because it gets overtaken by whatever you mix it with. You have to figure out the best ratio for it, but it is pretty. The next part here is Central Park Pralines. And I have used 2 cubes of this one. The description says a decadent confection of rich roasted pecans, buttery caramel, and cinnamon sugar. Now, I remember talking about this one on cold, and I said that I didn't really like the smell on cold. Like, there is a weird note here, and I still smell it. I don't like it at all on cold. But there have been other bars like that with Scentsy, like the gingerbread pecan waffles, and then there was a bar called Everything Nice that I have in my club. I do not like the smell of those on cold, but that smell goes away as it warms. And that happened with this one as well. This was an absolutely gorgeous bar. I loved it so much when it was warming in the warmers. I just do not like it here on cold. I don't know what that smell is. I don't know if it's just the mixture of those notes. Can't blend very well here. And then as it warms, it blends. I don't know, but it is amazing. And it was such a great performer. So I only did 2 cubes, but I did this one in the bedroom because I was kind of concerned that I wasn't going to like it because of the notes. So I didn't put it out here. But after I used it in the bedroom with 2 cubes, I can tell you that it's going to perform perfectly fine out here. And I meant to go back and warm this one out here in the open concept. I just never went back and did that because I've been trying to, use other bars and review bars and just gotten behind with all of that. But I am going to do that with the rest of this bar. I will definitely be warming it out here in the open concept because I love this one. It is definitely going in my club. It does not really have cinnamon. It has a little bit, okay? But for somebody like me who likes a lot of spices, I don't think it's a very spicy bar. So if you don't normally like cinnamon, but you really like pecan bakery type bars, then I would say give this one a try because it is absolutely gorgeous. There is the cinnamon sugar, okay? So it's not a red hot cinnamon. What is in here? It's like a sweet cinnamon, and it's just a little bit. It's nowhere near as much as like what is in the apple and oats bar. I don't like it very much here on cold, so it's really hard for me to say how much I loved it when I don't like the smell of it right here in the clamshell. But it is absolutely gorgeous when it warms. You can really smell the pecans and you can smell like the buttery caramel, and it's not like a really burnt toasted type caramel. It's beautiful, and it had great performance. Okay, so this one in my opinion was a little bit better than average. It went just a little bit longer, and I don't know. I don't know how it would be out here in the open concept if it would go past average, but it did fantastic in the bedroom. And I can't wait to grab some more of these. And I probably will use a good bit of these this fall. To me, this is a fragrance that I would warm year round because I like bakery type scents, but I do feel like this one might be a little too heavy for a lot of people to warm year round. I feel like you probably would warm it more in the fall. So I'm going to try mixing this one with some other fragrances too, just because I like playing around with bars, but I don't know. I love this one a lot. So I'm going to stock up on a couple of these, and I'm also going to add it to my club, and I can't wait to warm more of that. The next one here is coconut flower. So it looks like that, and I've used 1 cube of it. The description says, graceful tropical blossoms meet luscious pineapple and the subtle scent of coconut milk in a feminine floral fragrance. Now, I remember talking about this one. I remember being really worried about it because it said it had coconut, and the name of it is coconut flower, and I don't normally like coconut. I don't normally like floral bars, but when you smell it on cold, you really don't smell a whole lot of coconut. It actually smells tropical. And you can smell a little bit of a floral, but in my opinion, the floral reminds me a lot of like sweet pea, which I do like. And this fragrance, I really like this one. So this was probably the biggest shock for me out of all the bars because I really ended up loving this bar. I'm not sure if I'm going to add it to club. I just don't think I love it enough to add it to club, but I really enjoyed it. I only did the 1 cube in the bathroom, so I feel like I need to warm it out here in the open concept. I need to try maybe warming it in the bedroom and see if I love it enough to put it in club. But if nothing else, I'm going to put it in my club, and just let it sit there until the next time it ships. And then that way it'll be there in case I decide to keep it. And if I decide I don't love it enough, I'll just delete it. But I'm definitely going to grab a few more. So I'm probably going to grab at least 2 more of this one because I just can't believe I love this one as much as I do because it does have coconut and it does have a floral note. And there's a slight sharpness to this one, but I think it's like that sweet pea type floral note that I can smell. And I do like the smell of sweet pea. Like the sweet pea fragrance from Bath & Body Works. We used to have a bar that was called Sweet Pea and Vanilla. I liked all of that. So for some reason, there's something in this one that reminds me of that. So it's not a heavy bar like I was expecting. It's not a heavy bar. It's tropical, and it's kind of like a brighter coconut, if that makes sense. It's not one of those heavy type coconuts. And I could see this as some sort of like body spray that Bath & Body Works would make. That's what it reminds me of. So I don't know how much I would use this one. So I don't think that I should add it to Club, but we're just going to wait and see because it really did surprise me. The performance of this one, I think, was a little bit on the light side. For me, I'm sensitive to any kind of floral. I'm sensitive to any kind of coconut, really. So I think for me, it was a little bit stronger than probably what it would be to someone else. But I still loved it. So I don't know if this needs maybe a little bit of cure time. I could have probably got by with putting 2 cubes in the bathroom, honestly, or at least 1.5. I feel like it would have had a little bit better performance had I done that. So I'm not sure how this one would do in an open concept. Like I said, I have not tried that yet, but I do plan on doing that so I can make up my mind whether to keep it in Club or take it out. But it was really pretty. I really liked it way more than I thought I would. The next bar that I have here is Cranberry Pumpkin Spice. Looks like that. And I actually had an old bar of it, so I used that instead of this new one. And you can tell they are a little bit different, like in the color. So mine is definitely a lot more oily and it was discolored. It's a flat bottom, but I just decided they smelled very similar on cold. And I just decided to use up this old one so I wouldn't have to cut this new one here. The description says, sugared cranberry adds a sweet kick to baked pumpkin, delightfully infused with cinnamon spice. And another reason why I decided to use this old one is just because this is just really not a favorite fragrance for me. I remember talking about this one on cold. This, in theory, should be a bar that I absolutely love. I should be adding this one to Club. This bar should have been in my top 3 favorites from this Bring Back My Bar collection. If not the top one, it should have been competing for a top spot against apples and oats. If you really think about what I normally like. I really like pumpkin fragrances. I really like cinnamon. I really like bakery fragrances. But this one just does not do it for me. And I remember back when this was available before, I just didn't like it. There is this odd note with this one, and I don't know if it's the sugared cranberry. I feel like that's throwing this off. I really do. But there's also a weird spice note. So it's not clove, okay? I like clove. And it's not the cinnamon because I like cinnamon. But there is something else mixed in this bar that just keeps me from loving it. Now, I have seen someone mention that it reminds them of bubblegum. I have seen someone comment that, or I've seen it somewhere. And now that they have said that, I can see where they're coming from. There is just something weird here that kind of reminds you of that. It's like a sugary something. There's something there. And I just feel like it doesn't belong in this bar, so it keeps me from loving it. I usually love every kind of pumpkin bar that I come across. There hasn't been a pumpkin bar that I can really think of that I didn't at least like. And I can warm this one, but I just don't really like it. So I tried this one in several places. This one here. I did it up here. I did it in the bathroom. I did it in the open concept. And it's definitely not a repurchase for me because I still have a couple of these bars in my stash. And this one right here, I'm probably going to gift to someone else, one of the new ones, because most of the ones I have in my stash have gotten oily like this. So I will use them over time. But honestly, I'm going to have to mix mine with probably more cinnamon or maybe a fruity type bakery, something else to make this more bakery. Because it does have a sweetness there, but it's not as bakery as I don't know. It's just strange. It's just strange that I don't love this one. I should love it. And I know a lot of you love this one, and I'm so happy that you do. I'm so glad that this one came back so that you guys can add it to your club. I'm just baffled that a pumpkin spice bar, I just don't like it. It baffles me because I love all spice bars and usually all pumpkin bars. So I don't understand what it is. But this one is not a repurchase for me, and it's kind of disappointing. I wish that it would be, because this was really, in my mind, really the only true fall bar in this whole collection. I wish that there would have been more fall bars, but in my mind, that was the one true fall bar, and I didn't like it. So I also think too that it's not an in-your-face pumpkin bar. Like, there's just not a lot of pumpkin to that one. So if you are someone who doesn't really like a lot of pumpkin, maybe that would be a bar that you should try. But there is a good bit of cinnamon in this one. I have to say that. And the cinnamon is not a sweet, sugary cinnamon, okay? It is a red hot cinnamon. So if you don't like cinnamon and you don't like hot cinnamon, this might be one that you steer clear of. The next bar here is Disney Belle Enchanted Rose. And I did not warm this one. I know that I said that I would, but there are I think there's maybe one more in here that I did not warm. And the reason for that is just because, like I said, I wasn't like overly excited about some of these bars. And I have warmed this one before, and I just knew that I didn't like it. So I just did not want to take a cube out of this bar to put it in my really small bathroom and smell it when I know what it smells like. I remember this one very clearly. And then, have to cut this bar. I would rather just give this bar to a friend that I know will absolutely love it, and then she can have the whole bar, because I would have been wasting that cube. I would not have probably kept it in the warmer long, and I would have thrown it away. So the description says, write your own chapter. Rose petals, passion fruit, and sandalwood offer endless inspiration to those who dare to dream. And it is a lot of rose, okay? I cannot do rose bars. I just did not want to get a migraine at all. Like, I didn't even want to take the chance. So if you love rose, I definitely, hands down, you need to try this one. It is not 100% rose. There is definitely the passion fruit in here, which gives it a little bit of like a sharpness. There's a sharpness coming from that. But it is so floral. It really is. You can really smell the passion fruit on the bottom, okay? It's a sharp passion fruit, in my opinion. It kind of gives it like a tropical passion fruit here. So it's not straight rose, which maybe that's why a lot of you voted this one back. Maybe you like that there's something extra to this one that makes it different. But for me, I just smell mostly rose with it, because it's so strong, and it's a scent that I don't really like and that I can't really tolerate. Now, to me, this one would be a powerhouse. Okay, this would just blow me out of the house, and I would not be able to be in here. But that's because I'm sensitive to rose, and I just can't handle a scent like that. For someone else, I could see how they might think that the rose note in here is a little softer, but the passion fruit is sharp. So I don't really know. I don't know what the performance on this would be for just an average person who loves floral bars, because for me, it would just be insanely strong. So if you voted this one back, or this one is one of your favorites, I would love to know down below, like, what the performance of this one is like for you. And, I am glad that this one came back for everyone who loves it, so that you can add it to your club. It is a pretty bar. I'm not going to say it's not pretty. It's just not for me. So there's that one. So I'm going to put this one to the side because I have someone in mind, and I will give that to her so that she can enjoy it. Okay, the next bar I have here is called Exotic Vanilla. And I did use 1 cube of this one. The description says, spice up your home with the blend of vanilla bean, jasmine, patchouli, and sandalwood. And I said this on cold. I don't know why there's spice in this description, because I don't smell spice at all. I did not smell any spice when it warms. I really liked this bar on cold. I was like, okay, it is very, very vanilla. And if you smell it from the bottom, you can smell a lot of jasmine. It is really pretty. It's really, really pretty. I like this one more than I thought that I would on cold, and I actually liked it more than I thought I would on warm, because I was kind of concerned that this one would give me a headache, since it's very vanilla heavy. Like vanilla body care heavy. It's not like a vanilla bakery or anything like that. It's definitely a vanilla body care, and it's actually really, really pretty. I really, really like this one. It's not one that I would warm out here in the open concept. If I warmed it somewhere where I was all day, I feel like at that point, it would probably give me a headache. Like maybe in the bedroom, like during the day when I'm not really in there as much, or in the bathroom, definitely places like that, I feel like it was absolutely gorgeous. I can see why there's a lot of people who like this one. I just think the description is off. I don't think there's anything spicy about this one at all. Nothing. There's nothing spicy about this one. If someone smells spice in this one, please let me know down below, because I do not understand the whole spice thing with this. I don't smell the patchouli. The sandalwood, I feel like, is just helping the vanilla and jasmine blend together, because mostly what I smell is vanilla with a little bit of jasmine. So it's not overly floral in my opinion, which I did like. And I've had a few customers really love this one actually. So this one has been popular with some of my customers. Now, I did the 1 cube in the small bathroom. I do feel like it was a little on the light side, actually. I was concerned that this one was going to be heavy and it was going to be strong, and it actually wasn't. I think for that small bathroom, I probably should have used at least 1.5 cubes. So if I did use this one like in a bedroom or somewhere like that, I would need to use like maybe 2.5 cubes or 3 cubes instead of my normal 2. And that's why I feel like, too, I'm not sure how it would perform in an open concept. For me, I feel like it would be kind of strong just because I'm sensitive to vanilla. But for someone else who really loves vanilla bars, this one might seem a little light to you. But I still think it was beautiful. I don't think this is going to be one that I add to my club, even though I have a friend who loves it. So I might possibly add it to club so I can grab a few bars for her. But I think what I'm going to do is just maybe grab 1 or 2 more of these and then I'll be good. But that one was really pretty. That one shocked me as well. The next bar I have here is called Fiji Flower. It's this really pretty pink color. Now, I did not use any from this bar just because I found a bar in my stash. And so I used some of it. Now, this one is not very oily, but it is a flat bottom. So I have had it for a little while. And I do think it's a little bit stronger than the new one. So I definitely think that this one, as it cures, it gets even a little bit more stronger. Now, I have used this one up here in the open concept before, and it works perfectly fine. Okay, so this is a great performing bar. I don't know how it would be from a freshly poured bar, but I know of the ones that I've had that have sat a little bit, they have great performance. And this one, I actually did the 4 cubes. So I had 1 cube missing from this bar, and I did 4 cubes downstairs in my basement. I had so many scents going back when I started doing the Bring Back My Bars and I was warming them all, that I decided to put this one in the basement so I could try to get through them faster. And it was absolutely gorgeous down there. It really, really was. Like it scented the whole space, and it was really pretty. It was strong. I don't think that I would like it in a place where I am all day. Like I've said, I feel like it would have been too floral for me, but you could really smell the apple. So the description with this one says, a vivid lei delicately crafted with pink plumeria and pear blossom wraps around an air of apple. So I was really noticing the apple. So I would kind of go downstairs so that I could smell it. And it is floral, don't get me wrong. There is a lot of floral to this one, but it is a really pretty floral. It's for someone like me who likes the floral bars to be like mixed with something. It was so pretty. I could see myself warming this in the spring, but I just don't think I love it enough to put it in my club. So again, I do like this one a lot. I think I'm going to grab maybe 1 or 2 more bars of it because it is such a strong bar to me that I think that will get me through at least like 2 springs. I think that will get me like 2 years worth of, you know, maybe warming it a couple times in the spring. This one was really, really pretty. Like I said, you have to like apple with this one, I think, though, because there is a very crisp apple note that I can smell. And it is still way more floral than it is fruity. So it is still a little bit more floral to me. I feel like if the apple would have been even stronger and it would be less on the floral side, maybe I would add this to club. But it was still really strong and really floral, but unique and really pretty. I can see why you guys voted this one back. So I didn't cut this bar because I wanted to save it for spring. I don't think I'll even finish the rest of this one since, you know, it's fall. We're going into fall. I'm really warming fall stuff right now. So I'll have these and then I'm just going to grab a couple more. Okay, this next bar here. This is Grape Vine. Okay, looks like this. I have used 3 cubes of this. Now, I use this one in the basement. Okay. And unlike the Fiji flower. The Fiji flower, I did 4 cubes because the basement is a really open area, but you know, I usually use 3 or 4 cubes down there if I'm going to scent the whole basement area. So it just depends on the fragrance, how much I feel like it needs. I feel like with the Fiji flower, I could have probably just done 3 down there and it would have been fine because that one was pretty strong. But this one right here, this Grape Vine, I kid you not, this bar could have scented my whole basement with 1 cube. 1 cube, because 3 cubes about blew me out of this house. I'm not even kidding you. I came home one day and I walked through my garage door here in the kitchen, and I just remember just being hit in the face when I came in the door with the smell of this bar. And this bar was going in the basement. Like the warmers were on and it was going in the basement. And it hit, at that point, it probably had been warming for about 5 hours, something like that. And I could smell it up here through the doors. I guess the scent was coming through the vents. It was insane. It was so insane. I could not believe that that is what I was smelling. So the description says somewhere between grape juice and Cabernet. The description, in my opinion, is very vague. I mean, it doesn't really go into any details of anything else because I feel like it's not just grape juice and like a wine type scent. It's just not. You have to like grape to like this fragrance, but I like grape. Okay, I don't dislike grape, and I do not like this scent at all. I mean, I remember when I smelled it on cold, it was kind of okay, but there's something floral here and almost something soapy to my nose. I do not like this. It is a very like mature grape, like the wine type earthy grape. So if you like more like a fruity type grape, a kid's type grape fragrance, that is not what this is at all. And I think that's what I would prefer if I was going to smell a grape fragrance. But the performance of this bar. Now, I remember on cold thinking that this is a powerhouse bar, and it is. This is a powerhouse bar. I cannot believe I have never had a fragrance going in the basement that I could smell so strongly up here. So it's definitely one of those fragrances that is going to travel. It's going to go through doors. It's going to go wherever. And 3 cubes was just entirely too much. Now, it could be that I was just sensitive to the fact that this has got some kind of floral note in it too. But I'm telling you, if you want a powerhouse fragrance and you like grape and wine and like a deeper type fragrance like that, you need this. You need this bar, because I am still shocked by the strength and the performance of this bar. And I left it for a while. Okay. I was like, okay, let's see. Is this going to, taper off here? Like, when is it going to start, getting lighter? When is it going to calm down? That's what I was thinking to myself. But I could smell it over the fragrance that I had going in the house that day. The scents that I had going up here, it was definitely overpowering everything. So I gave it a good 15 hours, okay? It stayed in the warmers downstairs for a good 15 hours, and I had to go downstairs and remove it. And going downstairs while this is warming, it was just so strong. It was just like in your face strong. It was still so strong taking it out of the warmers and throwing it away. It was so strong in the trash once I took it out of the warmers. Wow, I don't know if I've ever had a bar that was that strong before. Like I said, like coming upstairs and just going into every room and still being that strong after 15 hours. So I have to give it credit that this is an amazing performing bar, but it's just not for me. So I'm not getting any more of this one. I will not warm this bar again. I will be gifting this one to someone who thinks that it smells good, and we will move on from this one because it is not for me. So I definitely think that it is a unique bar, and I could see how some of you love this one, but for somebody like me, this is just not my type of bar, and I don't even think I could mix it with anything just because it would just completely overtake whatever I mix it with. I would have to just use like tiny little pieces of this one mixed with like cubes of something else, or this would just take it over. So yeah, not for me. So the next bar I have here is called Linger, and I have used 1 cube of it. The description says pink grapefruit, sugared apple, lavish praline, and flirty marshmallows swirl to create a fragrance that says stay. And I remember talking about this one on cold. I remember saying I don't smell any of those notes. All I smell is amber in this bar. And that is so true. I just smell amber completely with this bar. I feel like it is a body care type, romantic type fragrance. It is not grapefruit. It's not apple. You can slightly smell something sweet, like a vanilla, like marshmallow. So I put this one in the bathroom. I just did the 1 cube. And it was okay. It didn't give me a headache, okay? So the amber that's in here, there is a lot of amber in here. I definitely think there's amber in here, and I think it should have been in this description. But it's not one of those super, super heavy ambers that really give me a headache, even though there's no way I could do a fragrance like this, like in my bedroom or out here in the open concept. I just couldn't. I do think this is a good bedroom bar for someone who likes the fragrance, someone who likes this type of scent, because it does smell kind of romantic. It smells body care. So I think it's a pretty fragrance. I really do. It's just the description does not go with this at all. It just doesn't. This bar right here reminds me of a bar that we had a while back called Quiver. So if you are familiar with that bar, it does kind of remind me of that. But there was a time when Scentsy made a lot of bars that were just like romantic type bars. That's just what they were. They reminded me of body care. They reminded me of amber, and they were not for me. So I kind of like steered clear of those. And even though this bar didn't bother me, it's definitely not a bar that I want any more of. I'm not going to be adding it to club. I'm not going to stock up on any of these just because it's not a scent that I'm going to want to reach for, that I'm going to want to smell. Because there is a lot of amber here. There is a lot of something that is just making it smell body care. And that's just not the type of bars that I reach for. But if that's something that you like, I definitely think you should give this one a try. So it is a very pretty fragrance, just not what I like and what I'm used to. It is pretty. I don't understand why they said in the description it has grapefruit, apple, marshmallow. It has all these things, because that description made me really interested in this bar. Like I was really hoping to smell the grapefruit and the apple and the marshmallow and all that mixed together. And I don't get any of that. So definitely let me know down below if you guys have tried this one, if you guys smell any of those notes, or what you think about this one, because I would be interested to hear somebody else's opinion. Okay, the next bar I have here is Luxe Vanilla. And I have used 1 cube of this one. The description says soft tones of musk, cyclamen, and jasmine blends with the delicate scent of vanilla. Now I remember talking about this one. I was really worried that this one was going to give me a headache. So I only put 1 cube in my small bathroom back there. This one definitely has a powderiness to it. And I smelled that on cold, but when it warms, that is like the main thing that I smell, is like a vanilla with a powderiness. And it kind of leans, not exactly laundry, but kind of like a fresher type scent like that, like laundry a little bit, but also like a perfume, maybe like a powdery perfume. So it's not like super laundry or anything like that. It just kind of gave me that feeling a little bit because of the powderiness and a slight cleanness to it. I don't really care for this one. I mean, it was okay. It didn't give me a headache, which is a good thing for sure. It wasn't like super heavy or anything like that. It was kind of soft and powdery, but it just wasn't a scent for me. But I could see how a lot of people would love this one. I think it is a beautiful fragrance. I do. It smells a lot more mature to me, like a mature perfume, like with a powdery type edge to it. So very, very pretty, just not one that I'm really interested in having. I honestly have someone in mind that I'm going to give the rest of this bar to, just because I don't think I would ever use this. I mean, I could use it in the bathroom, no problem. It wouldn't bother me. But like I've said before, I mean, I just have so many other bars to use that I don't really need this one. And it's not one that I would really want to reach for. So I'm just going to give it to someone who can enjoy the rest of it. But yeah, it was really, really pretty. So if you like powdery type fragrances, I definitely think you should give this one a try, especially if you like vanilla. Now, I didn't smell a lot of jasmine with this one. I do like the smell of jasmine. There's maybe a hint of jasmine, but it just kind of has like a floral edge to it, in my opinion, with the powderiness, with a slight jasmine, and I can smell the musk. Okay, so it does have like a little bit of a musky edge too, but it's just a really pretty mature type perfume with a powdery edge to my nose. As far as performance goes, like I said, it was a lot softer than I thought that it was going to be, and it had great longevity though. I think for someone who is used to vanilla type fragrances and you're used to powdery fragrances like that, it might seem a little soft to you. You might have to use just a little bit more wax than what you're used to. But for me, I mean, it was perfectly fine. But I just know I was expecting it to be really strong because that's how it smelled on cold. And it actually ended up being a lot softer on warm than what I expected, but it was absolutely beautiful. The next bar I have here is Marshmallow Mint. And I did use 3 cubes of this one. The description says, buttermint and marshmallow make merry beneath an amber veil. Now, I did say in my cold video that I remember this one, that I absolutely love it on cold. The only thing I don't like about this bar is the amber note. It's probably not very noticeable to other people, but if you are sensitive to amber like I am, then you probably will smell it in here because I can definitely smell it. It's definitely there. I do think that it helps this fragrance last longer in the warmers. And I guess it gives it like a pretty edge. Like if you're somebody who likes amber fragrances. Me personally, I just wish this was the buttermint and the marshmallow. If it didn't have the amber note, I would be adding this one to club. I would be stocking up on this one. I would be warming it all the time. But because of the amber note, I did use 3 cubes out here. Okay, I took a chance on it, because I know that I've warmed it before and it never really gave me like a huge migraine or anything like that because the amber isn't super heavy in this one, but it's still not one that I can do all the time. And it did okay out here. It was a little on the soft side, but I can smell it's such a weird thing to say because the fragrance is soft, but yet the amber just kind of like hangs out in the air and it just seems to give me a headache. And even though I really didn't get a headache from this one, if I would have kept it in my warmers, you know, all day long, if I would have kept it like what I normally do for at least the 24 hours, then I probably would have got a headache from this one. So I did take this one out of the warmers early, but I know from using this bar in the past, like I could use it in a bathroom and I can use it somewhere like that where I'm not going to be at all the time, that it has pretty good longevity. I would say slightly better than 24 hours, like in a smaller space. So I think it is a good bar for longevity. I just think it is a little on the softer side. So don't expect this to be like one of those really aggressive, really strong bars anywhere else in the house. But I think it's absolutely gorgeous. If you love the smell of buttermint and marshmallow, you definitely need to give this one a try. This one is definitely a fan favorite for sure. I have a lot of customers who love this one. I remember this being like a top seller with some of my customers back when it was available because it is absolutely gorgeous. It is so pretty. And I love that buttermint note and that marshmallow note. Like I really, really love this one. I just don't like the amber in it. And I think that I will grab a couple more bars of this. I'm just not going to add it to club. So I'm going to grab a couple more bars. I can warm this like in the bathroom. I can warm this in the bedroom if I'm not going to be like actually in the bedroom all day, you know, just warm it during the day in there. But I still love Meant to Be Merry more than this one for sure, which I knew it would be that way anyway. Meant to Be Merry is more of a bakery type bar. It does have more mint to it, whereas this one is more of a buttermint. That one's more mint. So the Meant to Be Merry has more of a cookie or cupcake type note with it. And I just prefer that over this one anyway. So I know I would reach for that one. If I'm wanting this type of fragrance, I'm probably going to reach for that. I just wish that this marshmallow note, they used it in more bars than just this one, especially with like the buttermint. It's so pretty. Absolutely gorgeous. So I am going to grab a couple more. I just wish that the amber note wasn't there. Makes me sad. There's just so many bars that Scentsy makes with amber in them, and then I can't use them. The next bar here is Mums and Marigolds. And I did not use any of this one. Nope, didn't do it. The description says, the sunny scent of summer marigolds, rosy rhubarb, earthy cedar and musk. And I talked about this one on cold about how this was just, I just do not like this bar. I thought that I could warm this one, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I have so many other bars to warm, and I did not want to waste this bar because I knew that if I put a cube in the bathroom to smell, I knew it was going to smell exactly like the way I remember, because it smells exactly like the way I remember on cold. And then I wasn't going to keep it in the warmer long. I was going to have to take it out, and then I would just rather keep this bar whole and give it to someone as a gift. I would just rather do that where somebody can enjoy it that likes this fragrance, because I just do not like this one at all. And if this is your favorite, I'm sorry, but it is so floral. It is so floral, but there is also a note here that I don't like that reminds me of mothballs or something else mixed in with this one, because I do like floral bars. Like, I have Peony Petals, I believe that it's called, in my club, and it is a very, very, very floral bar. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I can appreciate floral bars and just use less of them, and, you know, use them in smaller spaces, or use them kind of as like a background scent with other scents going. And I can tolerate them that way. But there's something about this floral bar that I don't even like the smell of it. I don't like the floral note of this one. I do think it smells a little bit like marigolds, but it is so strong. It's so strong here on the bottom. I could not imagine using this one in this open concept here, especially like if I did use this one in this open concept, there's no way I could use more than like a cube. I mean, this would just run me out of the house. That's how strong it is to me. I'm just too sensitive to floral scents, I guess. So if you love this one, I am glad that it's back and that it's here for you. I'm assuming that this one is a really powerhouse type bar, because that's just how strong it smells to me. But let me know down below if this is your favorite, if it's one that you love warming, how good it is of a performer, or how it does for you, because I would be interested in knowing, because just to me, smelling it on cold, and I have warmed this one before. I warmed this one in the past because I remember smelling this one in a tester, or somehow I got a hold of one and I just wanted to try it, and wow, no, absolutely not. I had to take it out. It was an instant headache. It was way too strong, but I never like left it in the warmers for an extended period of time to see how it does, like with longevity or anything like that. So it's a pretty floral, just an odd note in there that's mixing with it that I don't really care for, that's keeping me from even wanting to try it. So, but I'm glad it came back for everyone who loves it. The next bar that I have here is Pistachio Ice Cream. And I did use 2 cubes of this one. The description for this one says pistachio, cream, and coconut garnish, vanilla meringue. And I used this one in the bedroom. So to me, this one smelled like it was a little bit light. And so I was afraid that it wouldn't do well out here in the open concept. So what I first did was I just did 2 cubes in the bedroom, and it was absolutely gorgeous. This bar is beautiful. I love this fragrance so much. Okay, I don't normally like pistachio bars because they can have like a cherry type smell to them. This one did not have that. It was such a beautiful, like nutty pistachio note, and I loved it very, very much. Now, the vanilla wasn't like overpowering in this one. The coconut wasn't overpowering in this one. It was so pretty. Absolutely loved it. I really, really loved it. The only thing is the performance. I feel like this one is extremely light. Okay, so I did the 2 cubes in the bedroom, but I feel like it probably really needed 3 cubes in my bedroom, and that I don't normally do. I mean, I will for some of my bars that don't have the best performance, but I mean, I normally just do 2.5 cubes. And so I feel like out here in the open concept, I feel like I would have to use at least 4 cubes, maybe 4.5. And oh man, I really love this one though. That just makes me so disappointed because it is so gorgeous. It really is. I really did fall in love with this one, but I don't know if I want to put it in my club for that reason, because I don't want to use that many cubes. I want my wax to go a little bit further, but I might have to. I'm going to grab a couple more of these, and I'm probably going to put this one in my club just for safekeeping. And then, you know, the next time it ships, I will have been able to use maybe some more of these, like maybe let them cure for a little bit. And then that way, if I decide that I want to keep it, it will be in my club and I can keep it. And if I decide I want to delete it, I can just delete it. Because I love this one so much that I want it to perform well. And I know I could use it in the bathroom, but this isn't really a fragrance that I would warm in the bathroom. This is more of a fragrance I would warm out here in the open concept or in a bedroom. And really, I have nowhere else. I have like my attic room upstairs where I could use it. It probably would do well up there. It is so pretty. So I think that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to add this one to club and hope that it cures a little bit better. So if you have experience with this bar, if this is a favorite of yours, if you know this one from back when it came out before, because I don't. I had never worn this one before, so I didn't know how this one was going to perform. Please let me know if this one cures, if this one gets stronger with a little bit of time, you know, and how it performs for you, because I just feel like it's not going to do well out here in the open concept, but I'm going to try. I still have the rest of this bar and I'm going to see how it does. The next bar that I have here is Prickly Pear and Agave. Now, I did not use any of this one because I actually had a couple of these in my stash and I used some of it. I only have 1 cube left. But these weren't really oily or anything, but they were a flat bottom, so they were kind of old. The description says, Prickly Pear and Agave are sweet as a desert sunset behind a dreamy veil of sheet petals. And I really remember this fragrance from back when it was available. My customers absolutely loved this fragrance. They just loved it. It's very fruity. There's like a green type note to this, almost like a spa type feel to it. It reminds me of like a type of like fruity shampoo. I also think that there's like I don't really know like how to explain it, like a green watery type note with this one. It reminds me of like bars that Scentsy's done before where they mention it having cactus or anything like that in them. Or maybe even bars that they've mentioned having aloe and things like that. That's just kind of what it reminds me of. And it has like kind of like a spa type vibe to it. And then almost also like a fruity type shampoo vibe. So it's not really a bar that I absolutely love. I do love the colors though. I do love that it's pink and then the wax is green. I've always loved that about it. And I love the performance of this one. I think this is a really strong bar. I did the 3 cubes out here in the open concept. And honestly, I think I could have got by with maybe 2.5 cubes. It would have been perfectly strong for me. It is pretty strong in the fact that it's very, very noticeable. So you don't really forget that it's here. There are bars sometimes where I don't really smell them that much. I go nose blind to them a little bit until I come back into the room. But this one, you smell it pretty much the whole time that it's in your space for me. And I don't like the scent enough to really like that. I do think this is an absolutely gorgeous scent for a bathroom. I think it's gorgeous anywhere really, but for me, that's probably where I would warm it. Like with the rest of the bars that I have, that's probably where I'm going to put it, is in the bathroom. Because I don't really want it out here where I smell it all the time, but it is a very pretty bar. So I can see where you guys voted this one back because it was a bestseller with my customers and it is really pretty. So I'm glad that it came back for you. I don't think I'm gonna grab any more of them just because I have maybe 1 or 2 more in my stash and then I have this one now. So I think I'm good. The next bar here is Red Pear and Pomegranate. And I did not use any of this one either because I actually have quite a bit of these in my stash. This was actually one of the bars back from when it was Scent of the Month. And you can see it's a flat bottom and I have 2 cubes left of that one. The description says sweet tart notes of pomegranate and rhubarb are polished by crisp, energizing red pear. Now, I love this one. I knew that I loved this one. So I knew that I was going to be adding this one back to my club probably because I do have some in my stash. Like I said, I still have a couple back from when it was Scent of the Month. And I've kind of hoarded those and not used them that much just because I knew I couldn't get it again. But now that it's back, I think I'm just going to go ahead and add it to my club. It's a great performer. I mean, when I smell it here in the new bar versus The old one, I feel like it's slightly a little bit stronger in the bar that I had sitting for so long. And honestly, they don't get oily. Like, I've had this bar for quite a while. This says that it was scent of the month back in 2021. So I've had this bar for quite a while, and you can see it doesn't get oily or anything, but I do think it's gotten a little bit stronger. And it is kind of a powerhouse, in my opinion. It did fantastic out here in the open concept with 3 cubes. And it has been a while since I've warmed it. So I just have forgotten that it was that great of a performer for it to be a really fruity bar like this. I was honestly surprised. So it went past the 24 hours. I would say it was going for probably about 30 hours when I finally took it out of the warmers, even though I might could have pushed it to like 35 hours. And it was strong. Just a great fragrance. Now, you have to like pomegranate. You have to like fruity bars to like this one. I don't smell a whole lot of pear, but there is definitely a tartness with this one. So there's like a sweetness, and then there's a really sour tart note with this one. And that is what I think makes me love this one so much. I love tart bars like this. Very, very fruity, very pomegranate, just very, very good. So I am glad that this one came back. I'm definitely going to grab a couple more of these, and it's going in my club. Okay, this bar is Rosemary Mint, and I've used 1 cube of it. The description says, soothing mint and tea tree cool over soft, vitalizing rosemary. Now, when I smelled this one on cold, it smells extremely strong here. Very like invigorating, very like refreshing, open up your sinuses. It smells so strong in this clamshell, especially here from the bottom. I mean, it almost like makes your eyes water how strong that is. And you can definitely smell the mint. It's more of a, it kind of smells like spearmint in my opinion, but also kind of like toothpaste. And then it says tea tree, which is also giving it that kind of like open up your sinuses, giving it like a coolness. And then it says rosemary. Now, I really don't notice the rosemary. The main thing that I'm smelling here is that spearmint toothpaste type mint with the tea tree. Very strong here. I did the 1 cube in the bathroom, and it wasn't quite as strong as I expected it to be with the 1 cube. It wasn't. I was scared that it was going to be like a powerhouse in there and that it was going to take over the other rooms, but it really did not. I was actually pleasantly surprised by this one. Now, I do think that it still has a toothpaste type edge to it. So if you don't really like mint type bars that can lean toothpaste a little bit, this might not be a bar for you. But if you like really invigorating bars like this, like you like Just Breathe and you like bars that like open you up, you might want to give this one a try, because I was kind of surprised by it. I didn't like it quite as much here on cold as I did on warm. Now, I don't think that it's a bar that I'm going to buy more of, just because I personally prefer Just Breathe over this one. But I liked it a lot more than I thought that I would when I smelled it on cold. It's not a bar that I would warm out here in the open concept. So now that I've done the 1 cube in the bathroom, I really think that 3 cubes out here would not be as strong as I originally would have thought they would have been, because smelling it here on cold, especially from the bottom, I would just think this would be so powerful out here. And in the small bathroom, I really thought that it was going to be, and it just really wasn't. It was a little bit softer, but it was pretty. It kind of gives me spa-like vibes, but also going to the dentist, like toothpaste type vibes. So just not a bar that I think that I want to reach for, but it was different. And I could see myself warming a bar like this, like if I was sick and I, had sinus congestion or something like that. But it was nice. I just don't think I really need any more of it. The next bar I have here is Seashore. And I used 2 cubes of it. The description says, ocean air dappled with salted grapefruit and sweetened with hints of pink ginger, lemon zest, and vanilla beans. Now, I was really excited about this one before I smelled it on cold, because once I smelled it on cold, it doesn't smell anything like what that description says, in my opinion. I don't really smell grapefruit. I can smell the lemon zest, and I can smell like some ginger. I really don't smell much vanilla, honestly. I think there might be some vanilla helping blend this just a little bit. I don't smell a whole lot of sweetness. This is a very zesty, citrusy, strong bar. Very strong. Like, I knew when I smelled it here on cold that it was going to be kind of strong, so I only did 2 cubes out here in the open concept. So I put this one in the warmers, and it just kind of overtook the whole space. It was so strong. It was so sharp. And again, these sharp fragrances seem so much stronger to me just because they're very, very sharp. This was so sharp that I had to take it out of my warmers. Like, it had been in the warmers for maybe like 10 hours, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So I don't know the longevity on this one. I don't know how long it would go. I feel like it would be at least 24 hours, maybe slightly longer. But there is an airtight note to this one that I really, really love, but I cannot get past how zesty this one is. And it's not just lemon. There is lemon here. It's a weird combo. Okay, it might be the ginger maybe that I'm not liking so much. I don't really smell like ocean specifically. Like, I was hoping this one was going to be more aquatic, but I don't really smell the ocean with this one. I smell like the air note, and it's slightly salty, but it's still, this bar, if someone didn't tell me that the name of this bar was Seashore, I would never think that they were associating this bar with anything to do with the ocean or anything like that, because it's definitely just smells way citrusy, but with an outside air type note to it. So it is pretty. It is a pretty bar. This is very unique. If you like citrusy, zesty type bars, I would recommend trying this one because it is a good performer. Just know that it is on the sharp side. So I personally am not going to buy any more of this one. I thought that I would like it because I do like citrusy type bars, but it was just ended up being too sharp for me. So I don't need any more of that one. The next bar I have here is Strawberry Taffy. And I used 3 cubes of this one. Now, if you watched my video where I did the first sniffs of these bars, then you will remember that I do not like this bar at all. I don't like this bar. It has a weird, almost like a spoiled milk type sour note with it. There's just something really odd. I want to love this bar because it is strawberry, and I usually love all kinds of strawberry bars. I usually love them all. I can't love this one. I do not like this one at all. So I put this one in the basement because I didn't want it up here with me. I didn't want it where I could smell it. I didn't even want it in the bathroom where I would have to like go into the bathroom and smell it. So I did the 3 cubes in the basement because I also wanted to see how the performance would be in an open space down there, but I just didn't want to smell it. And I did this before I had done the Grape Vine one, because if I would have done that Grape Vine one first, I would have never tried this one in the basement because I would have been so afraid that this one would have came up through the vents like the Grape Vine one would have, and that would have just ruined it for me. Like, I wouldn't have wanted to put this one anywhere. So thankfully, this one didn't come up through the vents or anything like that. It definitely stayed in the basement, and I went down there and would kind of smell it. I still don't like the smell of it. It wasn't quite as bad as I remember it being on warm. Okay, it still has the weird note on cold. On warm, it wasn't quite as bad, especially in a space where I wasn't at the whole time. You know, it was downstairs. I was just going down there to smell it and then coming back upstairs. There is a pretty strawberry note with it that I like. There is another note in there mixed with it that also smells like you have a strawberry scent warming in your warmers, but there's also some milk that has spoiled somewhere, or there's something off. There's a smell off that you're trying to cover up. That's I don't know. That's what I smell with this one. Just something else there. But I want to love it because I love strawberry scents. I just can't do it. There's also a tartness with this one, and maybe that's what's giving it that weird sour smell. I don't know. The description says nostalgic notes of vanilla taffy folded with strawberry puree, beckon straight from memory lane. So it mentions like taffy in the name. It says it has vanilla taffy and it has strawberry puree. I just don't think it reminds me of that. I mean, the strawberry I do think is more of like a candy type strawberry, but I don't know. It's not for me. I'm going to probably give the rest of this bar to someone because I can't warm this one anymore. I can't do it. I can't mix it with something because I still smell that off note with it. The next bar I have here is Summer Holiday. Looks like that. And I have not used any of this new one because I actually found an old bar in my stash. The only thing is it was very discolored. So you can see this one has really turned a completely different color. This color is absolutely gorgeous, but this is a flat bottom. It's pretty old, but they smelled exactly the same. So I just decided that I wanted to use that one instead. And this one is definitely a little oily. And, you know, I'd already said, you know, with this bar, it's got amber in it. And I was already nervous about warming it anyway. So I really didn't want to cut this bar and use it and probably only use, you know, like a cube or two, and then not be able to just give this one away to someone who can enjoy it, because this is an absolutely gorgeous bar. It is. It just has the amber in it. I have a lot of customers who love this bar. Love this bar. It was so popular back when it was available, and it is beautiful. So I just didn't want to mess up this bar. I wanted to keep it to be able to give to someone. So I pulled out some old ones. The description says, steal away to a sunny isle bursting with lush plumeria, tiger lily, and sweet orange, softened by vanilla and radiant amber. So it has the amber. And like I said, someone else who's not sensitive to amber may not really smell the amber that much, but it's there. And it's a lot heavier in this bar than it is in the Marshmallow Mint. So the amber in this one is way more noticeable, and it's a heavier amber, but this is an absolutely gorgeous fragrance. It is. It reminds me of body care, but it is beautiful. Like, I want to love this one and like warm it. I want it to not bother me, and I want to be able to warm it, and I just can't. I thought that if I tried it again that I might be able to warm it and it wouldn't bother me as bad, but it did. I did 2 cubes in the bedroom, and I had to take it out of the warmers after like 10 hours. It's like the longer it sits in the warmers, the more the amber comes out, and it just gets heavier. So I had to take it out. It is so pretty. It is so gorgeous here in the clamshells. I just wish that I could do it. But if it was in the air and I was smelling it for a long amount of time, I would get a headache. And I just remember being shocked when they discontinued this one back in the day, because it was a really good seller. There was people who loved this bar. So I'm glad it came back. The only thing about this one, I don't think it has the best performance, honestly, for someone else. For me, it seems a little heavy and strong just because of the amber. But if that amber note wasn't in there, I think this would be a soft bar. So I feel like someone else would say that this one is a little softer. The next bar that I have here is Tahitian Black Orchid. And I only used 1 cube of that one. The description says that it has black orchid, it has dark plum, coconut milk, and white rose. And I remember not liking this one at all on cold, okay? And so I only did the 1 cube in the really small bathroom. I don't even want to smell this one. I still don't like this one. It's not that it's not a pretty fragrance. It's the coconut in this one that I do not like. The coconut note that is in this bar is the coconut note that I cannot get along with. It's not a tropical coconut. It's not like a bakery coconut. It's this heavy coconut. And while it's not a whole lot of it in this bar, there is enough there that this gave me a headache just having 1 cube in the small bathroom. I had to take this out of the warmer. I do think to someone else, this probably wouldn't have the best performance. I think that it would smell a little soft, because I couldn't really smell the other notes. I couldn't smell the plum at all. I really didn't smell the rose, to be honest with you, which I was kind of nervous about. I could smell what smelled like maybe an orchid type note or a floral type note that wasn't rose. And then I could smell the heavy coconut. But I think that's because I'm sensitive to it. I think someone else who's not sensitive to that kind of note, you would have thought this wasn't a great performer, because I put 1 cube back there and I was expecting it to kind of really overtake the bathroom. And while it kind of gave me a headache because it was heavy, it didn't really overtake the space like how scents normally do. So I'm curious. I mean, how was the performance on this one for anyone else who loved it? I mean, for me, it just wasn't that great of a bar, but I think if this one would have had more of the plum in it and less of the coconut, I would have probably added this one to club, because I love plum fragrances. I feel like they don't have enough fragrances like with a lot of plum in them that you can smell. it's just the coconut. I just do not like whatever that coconut note is at all. It's not for me. So I'm not going to buy any more of this one. I'm not going to finish this one. I'll definitely give this one away. And I was kind of disappointed because I had not smelled this one before this. And I was hoping that when it warmed, I would smell that plum, but nope, definitely didn't. Okay, the last bar that I have here is Winter Wonderland. Looks like that. And I used 1 cube of this one in the small bathroom. The description says, exhilarating blast of a frosty mint breeze. Now, I was going to do this one out here in the open concept, but I just had so many of these bars that I was trying to warm through that I ended up putting it in the bathroom that day. And it was really, really pretty. I did like this one. I like this one a lot more than the rosemary mint. So I like the peppermint note in this one a lot more than that one for sure. I wouldn't necessarily say it's holiday though. Like I could see myself warming this one anytime that I really wanted an invigorating type fragrance. If I felt like I had a stuffy nose or something like that, like I could see myself reaching for a fragrance like this. So I am going to probably grab 1 or 2 more bars of this one. It is pretty. I think this one would be one that I would like to mix because I do like the mint in this one. Like sometimes I come across mint fragrances and I don't really like the mint. I don't feel like this one was toothpaste type mint. Maybe slightly. I could see how maybe somebody would kind of feel that way, but I feel like the rosemary mint one was way more of like a spearmint toothpaste type mint than this one. I like this one much better. So I just wanted to grab a couple more bars of this in case I ever have like a stopped up nose or congestion and have some of these on hand, and also to try mixing with some other bars, like any kind of bars that I want to add a little bit of mint to around the holidays. So that one was really pretty. Now, I didn't really smell a whole lot of pine with this one. I thought I was maybe going to smell like a little bit more of like a pine type note, because on cold I can smell like a pine way back in the background with this one. But I never really smelled anything like that. Just mostly like a really pretty cool mint. So that was it. That was all of the bars. So I was pleasantly surprised with some of these bars in this collection. I am glad that I bought the collection because I did want to try all of them. I would have been curious about some of these just based on the description if I wouldn't have bought all of them to just try. But I mean, there were definitely some in here that are just no's for me that I definitely will give away. So for sure, I know that, you know, I'm adding the Ace to my club and adding the apple and oats, and I'm adding the red pear and pomegranate. And I really want to add the pistachio ice cream, the Central Park Pralines. I found a few from this that's favorites. I was just a little bit disappointed in this whole collection as a whole, but that's just because there was a lot of floral type bars here and then a lot of amber. So I am extremely happy for all of you who have some of these favorites that you can add to your club now. And this was the type of scents that you like. So I am happy for you. I would like to know down below which ones you're adding to your club or which ones you plan to stock up on that were your favorites that came back. So I'm just curious what those are. So I'm gonna go ahead and record a couple more videos and then I'll get those up soon after this one. I hope that this video was helpful and I hope all of you have an absolutely lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Bye.